Oh, welcome back to Ali Pally. Earlier on this afternoon, Rocket Ronnie found himself 4-1 down. He's won the next 7 on the bounce to lead at the mid-session interval in the final session, 8-4. Just 2 more to become Masters champion for a record 7th time, and loads more snooker coming your way right here on Eurosport All Live. From the 1st of Feb, we've got the German Masters. That's live from Berlin. Then we've got the last of the 4 home nations, the Welsh Open. And then we finish with the big one, the World Championship, 17 days of hard graft, all live from the Crucible in Sheffield. It's not been a good evening for Joe Perry. Jimmy, what on earth happens now? He led 4-1. He had chances to, I wouldn't say wrap the match up, but certainly take a lovely lead into the evening session. He's lost the last 7 frames, and with it, of course, Sullivan has knocked in his highest break of the final as well. It looks like he's hit a bit of form at exactly the right time. Well,
to me, Ronnie O'Sullivan is still struggling. He still seems to be having trouble with his tip. But Joe has obviously took that 4-1 chance he had earlier on to go 5-1 into tonight's session, and he really has played bad. He'd be really disappointed with the way he's playing. Yeah. And for me, he doesn't look like stringing a 20 break together. Yeah. It's really hard for Joe out there at the moment.
You know, I'm guessing for a snooker player, it must be easier to take if you're sat in your chair and you know your opponent's playing really well and there's nothing you could do. But from Joe Perry's perspective, he's had chances to do stuff in this final and he's not taken them yet. He'll be devastated with, of course, his form at the moment, won't he?
I think the first frame tonight took the wind out of his sails straight away. It was a horrible frame. And it's one of them frames that if you win it, you think, OK, that wasn't very good, but I've won the frame. There was lots of balls being missed, you know, in that frame. And then, of course, it spiralled on and we move on to frame 10 now and things had already started bad and it just got worse.
A nice brown from Ronnie here, going all round the angles to get on one of these 2 reds over the left-hand pocket.
Jimmy, you mentioned before that you can actually hear from where we're sat in our studio, you can hear that the contact the cue ball is making with the tip isn't the right sort of noise. Explain in a bit more detail exactly what you mean.
When the tip is hard, which this one seems to be hard again, he said it was softer earlier on, but obviously he's practiced with it a couple of hours. But you can hear it's like 2 rocks hitting each other. It's like that type of noise, or, you know, a tin hitting a tin. It's just not how the snooker tips play. Now, unfortunately, you can get a bunch of certain tips, box to 24, and you probably only get 4 or 5 good tips out of them.
OK, but he's leading 8-4, and we were questioning whether or not he's going to take his tip off at this interval. And you said to me, well, if he's leading 8-4, it'd be crazy to do that, even if it's not necessarily the best possible tip.
I don't know the word. I'll find out, but hopefully he'll be absolute madness to take this tip off.
I'm just being told now, actually, he is changing his tip. That's the word that's
coming through. Well, you know,
he's taking his tip off and putting it
on. You know, obviously this one is that bad again. But for me, he's won 7 frames on the trot now, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't believe it if he's taking his tip off. I can't get over that. I mean, he needs to change the type of tips he's using, because he put one on yesterday and it was OK, and if it's gone today, then those tips aren't very good, are they?
No, I mean, fair comment. But listen, he's probably, because he's played so bad, and his mindset is that he really is not happy with this tip either, so I have to change it just in case Joe does come back at me.
OK, let's have a look at a few other moments from what we've seen already. This is frame 11. Ronnie, it looked like he was in amongst the balls, and then a shot you don't necessarily see that often with Ronnie, although, having said that, if he's not got the right tip on his cue, Neil...
But Joe Perry, look, he wants to smash this cue there.
Yeah.
He has missed 3 or 4 blacks off the spot in somewhere, and he struggles to hit this snooker here. And this leaves him 48. Oh, no, he hits the snooker, sorry, but he leaves Ronnie an easy red. He missed the snooker before that.
I mean, that red that he missed, sorry, that red he missed, that first one, that stun run through red, Ronnie to the left corner. I think in all the years I've watched him play, I don't think I've ever seen him miss that shot. It's just a bread and butter Ronnie shot, stun run through off the cushion, nothing difficult about it. And I honestly don't think I've ever seen him miss one of those. Yeah, no. I mean, not too many players other.
You do well to find one on a VT, I know that.
Yeah. More mistakes continued for Joe Perry in frame 12 as well. It's not good watching if you're a Joe Perry fan, because it really got worse as the evening...
Yeah, he leaves the red on here, you know. It's just not happening for Joe at all, and you know, you can see he's like, you know, he's had enough.
Body language, not...
He's had enough at the moment, but, you know, whatever happens, Joe Perry loses this match 10-4. He's had a fantastic Masters, and he should look back on this and try and...
Is it over? Is that what you're saying, Jim? 8-4, no way back?
For me, it's over, yeah. For me, it's over.
Well, I thought that, and I think he's changed his tips of risk, but I thought it's over. I mean, it's ex-certificate stuff if you're Joe Perry watching that back, isn't it?
Is it a risk, changing his tip? Because we've said that time and time again, and we've never been proved right. He seems to play better with the new tip if it's the right one.
Well, Ronnie must be on his own in this world. I mean, I think he's a wonderful snooker player, we all do, but to change a tip at this point of a match, I think is absolutely madness, personally. And, you know, he might come out and win, but I can't believe I just can't believe it.
With the scoreline, from being 4-1 down to 4-1 down to go 8-4.
If he's still not happy with it.
But if he's not happy, and you know, as I said, his mindset thinking that Joe can't play any worse than he is, he might come back at me, and I need to have a tip that I can rely on.
What has he done to the tip overnight? Is he, like you used to, the old conkers, you used to soak them in vinegar and put in the oven. Yeah. I mean, how can it go hard that quickly?
But Jimmy was saying...
Listen, I'm absolutely with you. I have no idea what he's doing.
You were saying before when we were chatting off camera, Jimmy, that putting a tip on nowadays isn't as it used to be back in the... You know, you need 3 or 4 days to knock it, and now you can do it in an hour.
You can put a tip on now. The way the guys know how to shape a tip now, it looks perfect. They take it down, they dome it, and you know that you can sort of, it looks like it's a played-in tip, but you still touch and feel when you're in the balls. The cue ball can go all over the place, and that's what can really mess you up in this game.
Okay, all right, we've got loads more to talk about, and of course we have the conclusion of this match. However it ends up, at the moment it's not looking good for Joe Perry. He's currently trailing by 8 frames to 4. More snooker live on Eurosport when we come back. Well, welcome back to Ali Pally. It's currently 8-4 to Rocket Ronnie in the final of this year's Masters. First to 10 for the top prize. A reminder, we've got live tennis coming your way. Exclusive to us here at Eurosport. The Aussie Open continues from midnight tonight. Now, of course, the man next to me, the whirlwind Jimmy White, has been lucky enough to win this very competition. And
no luck involved at all.
No, there wasn't. You're right. I'm just fortunate that you've become champion. You know what I mean, James. Earlier on, he caught up with the man he hammered. There you go, Jim, in the final. The Griff, to talk about the good old days.
Right, Tels. Always a pleasure, mate. We're talking about the one time that I beat you in the final of the Masters. I know you beat me in the World Championships, and we've had tremendous battles over the years. But I managed to beat you 33 years ago in the final of the Masters.
33 years ago.
Wow. Can you remember?
Doesn't seem that long. Yes, I remember. I'll never forget it. Yeah. No. It was your first ever tournament win, wasn't it? And, and obviously, Kirk Stevens had a 147 against you in the white clothes. He didn't flinch.
No.
I thought, well, I could knock Jimmy back a bit. The next thing he did 170 to clinch the game then, didn't you? What were your thoughts then, knowing that you were going to play me in the final?
Well, you know, in them days, I was just so pleased to be playing snooker, you know, and playing in an event like that. I didn't really, you know, my thought process was just to play you in the final and just, it was just such a pleasure to play in such an event, you know. It was like, prior to that, it was like the finals of Pontins, which was great. But to be in the final of the Masters, you know, lucky enough I went 4-0 up with you, because I think if it had gone really close, and I don't know if I would have been able to stay solid or not. I don't know.
I got into 5-3, but then you know, you played very well. You played better than me throughout it. I wasn't quite sure how you'd handle it, because it would have been your first win, you see.
Well, towards the end, when I'd won the match, I knew you couldn't win. I think I was in shock more than anything, because, you know, I'd won the Masters, and, you know, you've won the Triple Crown. I didn't win the World Championships, not finished yet. But I just truly believe that the Masters, for me, is up there with the UK Championships, you know. It's like, I'm so proud of winning that tournament.
From young Jimmy,
wow,
to Jimmy today. You like that?
Excellent. I've not actually seen that final, Griffiths. I might get that out.
Yeah, it's lovely seeing that. It's lovely seeing that.
Fantastic.
I love the table as well back then.
Yeah, nice white table. Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, and you know, Griffiths, Neil, me and Terry, me and Neil, we've known Griff all our life.
Yeah,
fantastic fella, and it's so nice to see him still involved in the game, coaching the top players. Brilliant.
Yeah, and I just want to show you this as well, because I'm very fortunate that I'm involved in the snooker, because I used to be, back in the day, a big Jimmy White fan. I still am, if the truth be known. Jimmy, that picture was 30 years ago this month.
Wow.
I met you at, it would have been the conference centre at the Masters.
Wow.
And then met you a couple of weeks later to get your signature, your squiggle, as well. Eh? I'm the one on the right, in case you wonder. There you go. We haven't aged, have we?
Not at all, mate. We're looking great, aren't we?
The latest news I am hearing is that the tip is on the cue. It didn't come off. So we all thought the tip was coming off, but no. It's a good enough tip. Although the cue's gone. And then no, I'm just playing with you. The tip and the cue, they remain. So he's happy with it, Jim. Nothing has changed from Ronnie's perspective.
So the news on the street is he's not changed his tip now?
Take the tip off.
You put us away a bit there, because we didn't believe that he was going to change his tip, and you've kippered us.
But you never know, because it's not over yet, this match. He might change it during a break of 25.
So straight, he's not changed his tip now?
It's still on. That's what I've just been told in my ear.
All right, cool.
Right, now, not long before the players walk out for the last time at this year's Masters, what on earth can Joe do to turn this match around, Jimmy? Is there anything?
Well, not really. You know, honestly, if Joe was to go in and make 2 century breaks, I'll give him a glimmer. But the way he's been playing, I can't see him making 250s. Unfortunately for Joe, you know, I feel for him out there because I've been there myself. Sometimes you just cannot play. Yeah. Your head goes and you just can't get it together. But I don't know. You know, O'Sullivan has been bad for me as well, and he's won 7 on the spin.
Yeah, let's have a look at the stats as well, just to remind you where we're at. I mentioned it's 8-4, that's the main one. Neil, it's a fair point Jimmy makes with regards to Ronnie's form, not just tonight, not just today in the final, but throughout the week. We certainly, as yet, haven't seen anywhere near what we're used to seeing when we watch Ronnie, have we? No,
and this afternoon at the end of it, all the stats were in favour of Joe. I know it was only 4-4, but his pot success, he scored 130-odd more points. But obviously everything's collapsed since then, and the fact is, I'd like to know kind of, we haven't got it to hand, but what kind of pot success he put up tonight. It must have been about 65 to 70%. He was that bad. Not completely blown away either by Sullivan, but he got stronger, and, you know, Ronnie senses his victories around the corner now, and I think, to go on for what you're saying about what he's got to do, we know he's got to stop him getting 10, because that means he's lost, but he's got to stop him getting to 9. You know, he's got to win a couple of frames now, or else once Ronnie gets close, he's not going to miss around.
The problem he's got, I imagine, is now Ronnie will be ridiculously relaxed because he's got that nice lead, and Joe will be as nervous as hell because he can't afford to lose a frame.
Well, I mean, at this point, I would be saying to Joe, look, you've had a great Masters, you've won 90 grand, you couldn't pot a ball before you come here. Think about that now. Think about what's happening, because you're so far behind and you've got so tense. You now got to take it as a positive and have a drink afterwards if you lose. Maybe, just maybe, that way he can loosen up and start playing again.
Yeah, throw his cue at a few, you know, hopefully they go in.
Well, that's what he was saying when he came and joined us on the couch after a couple of his matches. That's exactly how he says his approach was, that he hadn't been playing that well all season and just not gave up, but relaxed and thought,
it's very difficult to change your attitude for not enjoying the game, not enjoying practicing. All of a sudden you have 2 wins. It's always, I thought he was going to come back on him on the Hawkins, but he done a great clearance against Hawkins, but O'Sullivan is a different animal.
OK, well, there you go. They're out for the last time. It's an uphill struggle for Joe Perry. He currently trails by 8 frames to 4. 10 is the magic number. We'll hand you back for the last time in this year's Masters to our wonderful boys in the box. Neil Fulton, first up, Dave Hendon.